Hello gamers, this is Sai and welcome back to Which Way Games. Now it's time for another top 10, but what would you make a list on?
Look at all those chickens!
And with that being said, let's get on with the video. All the way back in 2020, my friend Justin, aka the Game-o-holic, issued me with a challenge.
Sai, this is going straight to you, my friend. I highly agree with the fact that you'll probably have Sonic somewhere up there, but let's see you do a top 10 without Sonic.
Which of course I accepted and came up with a great list everyone to check out. However, I felt like turning the tables on the Game-o-holic with a challenge of my own. I want to know, what are your top 10 Nintendo games that don't include Mario? And if my timing's right, then the Game-o-holic will have a video out shortly. However, this is my top 10 Nintendo games that don't feature Mario. So the likes of Super Mario Smash Bros, Luigi's Mansion and the Mario Kart series are off limits. And with that in mind, let's get started on my top 10 Nintendo games that don't feature the festively plump plumber. When it comes to video games, Nintendo are infamous for being a legendary game developer. And since their humble beginnings with playing cards, Nintendo have dominated the world of gaming with some fantastic games, as well as giving their seal of approval for many others. This seal of approval was Nintendo's way of letting gamers know that they were in for a fantastic gaming experience.
Yes!
Sadly, some of these games have been lost to the sands of time. However, racing in at number 10 is Diddy Kong Racing. Racing games have come in many shapes and forms over the years, but when it comes to Diddy Kong Racing, this cute looking racing game can stand tall among some of the greats. Gamers are introduced to a unique racing game. However, unlike the other racing games of the past, where gamers are limited to a particular vehicle, Diddy Kong Racing takes that rulebook and throws it out the window. And with a great gaming experience in store for gamers, Diddy Kong Racing is filled to bursting point with plenty of tracks, as well as unlockable content, and it's no wonder that Diddy Kong Racing is a favourite with Nintendo 64 gamers. But with the island of Timber under threat from the evil Wizpig, Diddy Kong and his friends must do what they can to save the once peaceful island. Slicing down the Foot Clan at number 9 is Turtles in Time. Now, games of the arcade always made that transition onto home consoles, and gamers were overjoyed when Turtles in Time made that leap. Taking the action of the arcade and bringing it to the Super Nintendo, gamers finally got the chance to play as the Turtles from the comfort of their own sofas. While witnessing the Statue of Liberty being stolen, the Turtles leap into action, battling the Foot Clan before finding themselves being flung through time and left searching for a way back to the present. From its fluid animation, decent gameplay and memorable music, Turtles in Time has become a legend with gamers. And with plenty of stages populated by loads of enemies, as well as a series of bosses, Turtles in Time was the pinnacle of gaming, especially with the craze of Turtle Mania in the early 90s. Now, will the Turtles ever come out from the shadows? With the power of Mumbo Jumbo at number 8 is Banjo-Kazooie. Gamers have had their fair share of 3D platformers over the years, but one that stands out among others is the fantastic Banjo-Kazooie. This highly addictive adventure platformer is adored by gamers, even going on to rival Mario's own 3D adventure. The evil Gruntilda kidnaps the sister of Banjo in order to steal her beauty, but luckily for Tutti, Banjo and his ever-faithful friend Kazooie embark on a mission to save her and stop Gruntilda dead in her tracks. Banjo-Kazooie is the perfect combination of puzzle solving and nail-biting platforming. With its non-linear level design and its endearing worlds, Banjo-Kazooie was an instant classic for the Nintendo 64. Jam-packed with 9 huge stages filled to the brim with collectibles, it's no surprise to see gamers playing this fun-filled action platformer decades after its initial release. However, will Banjo and Kazooie ever make the comeback they truly deserve? Uncovering the truth at number 7 is Earthbound. When Earthbound graced the world of gaming, gamers could only fathom how much of an impact this RPG like no other would have on them, as well as their views on gaming. With its own take on storytelling and its turn-based battles, Earthbound has gone and become a cult classic. When a mysterious meteorite crash lands near his home, Ness alongside his neighbour decide to investigate, and over the course of this discovery, they learn the evil entity known as Gligas. A messenger from the future warns the boys of the tragic events that caused the destruction of the planet, and from there, an adventure through time as well as a strange realm of dreams begins. While Earthbound played like conventional RPGs, its battle system differed from the likes of Final Fantasy. From its fantastic story, addictive gameplay, as well as mind-inducing questions about time travel and reality, Earthbound is a classic of gaming. Now, how far will Ness travel to make sure the world is safe in every reality? Defeating the Son of the Dragon at number 6 is Super Castlevania 4. When the forces of darkness threaten the world of the living, the Belmont clan are there waiting to put evil back in its grave. This time the responsibility lays on the shoulders of Simon Belmont. This classic platformer for the Super Nintendo is one of the best of the Castlevania series. With 11 stages to battle his way through, Simon Belmont is a force to be reckoned with, and it's easy to see why Super Castlevania 4 is a fan favourite with gamers. Combining responsive controls with great level design, gamers will find themselves continuously returning to the 16-bit adventure through Transylvania. And of course, no adventure is complete without a fantastic soundtrack. Does Simon Belmont have what it takes to put Dracula back in his grave, or will the world fall into everlasting darkness? Summoning the power at number 5 is Final Fantasy VI. Final Fantasy VI is regarded as one of the best Final Fantasy games in the series, with the first half setting the stage for the adventure, before the second half reveals the repercussions of the events that transpired before. Set in a world where fantasy and magic is now the stuff of legends, advances of science and technology have caused the Gesselan Empire to research the magic of old. This research led to the discovery of the Esper world, where magic was free and in its wildest form. With an immersive story, endearing characters, and of course a fantastic gameplay, Final Fantasy VI is a true legend of gaming. However, will the dragons of the past ever return one day? Taking on some of the greatest bounties in the universe at number 4 is Metroid Prime. Taking everything that made Super Metroid a classic of gaming, Metroid Prime takes the formula and transforms it into the glorious world of 3D. Of course, the first game to grace the GameCube spawned 2 sequels as well as spin-off titles, but it's the first game that set the standard for a 3D Metroid game. The galaxy's greatest bounty hunter, Samus Aran, intercepts a distress signal that eventually leads to an encounter with Meta Ridley. From there, Samus ends up on Talon 4 searching for Ridley, as well as uncovering the mysteries of the Chozo. And with an entire planet to explore, filled to bursting point with many creatures as well as many mysteries, Metroid Prime is a masterpiece when it comes to the Metroid series of games. However, those troublesome pirates are always up to no good, and will Samus ever defeat Ridley once and for all? Saving the world from Dr. Wily at number 3 is Mega Man 2. Regarded as the best Mega Man game for the Nintendo Entertainment System, Mega Man 2 was the perfect follow-up for its predecessor. And one big factor that makes Mega Man 2 such a hit with gamers is the legendary soundtrack. After his defeat at the hands of the Blue Bomber, Dr. Wily creates his own robot masters in order to take over the world. However, Mega Man is back stronger than ever and ready to take on the robotic masters of mayhem. Overcoming many obstacles along the way, as well as defeating hordes of enemies, Mega Man will have his work cut out for him before going toe to toe with Dr. Wily's evil robot masters. With each robot master defeated, their abilities can be used throughout gameplay very much like the first, allowing Mega Man to progress further until his final confrontation with Dr. Wily. But gamers must ask themselves, will Mega Man have what it takes to bring down the mad scientist? With the fate of the world at number 2 is Chrono Trigger. A true classic for the Super Nintendo in the world of RPGs, Chrono Trigger was the creation of the dream team behind the likes of Dragon Quest, Final Fantasy and the Dragon Ball series. This combination of great gameplay and amazing storytelling set the stage for an immersive adventure through time. Moving back and forth through history, gamers would uncover the events that would lead the world into a battle of survival. With 6 playable characters, 13 different endings, and a soundtrack that will pull at the heartstrings, Chrono Trigger is an adventure to remember and a must for any gamer's collection. However, just how dangerous can time travel be? Before I reveal my number 1 game, here are a few honorary mentions of some great games that sadly didn't quite make the list. These games that didn't quite make this top 10 are still fun and enjoyable to play, each bringing a fantastic gaming experience and having their own place on different top 10s that I'll reveal in all good time. And of course, with the world of gaming forever expanding like the dark void of space, I can only wonder what the future will bring for this realm of digital fun. Now, the number 1 spot is actually shared by 2 games. Without one, you wouldn't have the other.
You're goddamn right.
And so, with adventures through time and parallel worlds, is The Legend of Zelda: Ocarina of Time and Majora's Mask. When the Legend of Zelda series graced the Nintendo 64, gamers were given 2 legendary games that have stood the test of time since release. The Legend of Zelda: Ocarina of Time is considered to be one of the greatest games ever made, providing gamers with an adventure through time that would never be forgotten. The hero of time, known as Link, must save Princess Zelda as well as the Kingdom of Hyrule from the evil clutches of Ganondorf. However, Link will traverse the rivers of time alongside the fairy Navi. With its precise controls, fantastic gameplay and an amazing story, it's no wonder that the Ocarina of Time is loved by gamers, and sharing the number 1 spot is the equally fantastic Majora's Mask. Majora's Mask continues the adventure for the hero of time. Link is now on a journey searching for his missing fairy companion, but while in the woods, he has a confrontation with the Skull Kid, and now finds himself in the strange world of Termina. Utilising the same formula that made Ocarina of Time such a hit, Majora's Mask took the world of Hyrule and twisted it into something darker. And with familiar faces that Link once considered friends, his view in the world would be changed forever, especially with a sense of threat looming above his head in the form of the moon. With 3 days to save Termina, as well as finding a way back to Hyrule, the hero of time will find himself being tested when coming face to face with the Mask of Evil. Both of these games are crucial to the Zelda timeline, which is something I'll probably look at into the future. In fact, make sure you're subscribed for the Summer of Sonic in June, where I'll go into more detail.
Nice.
Overall, the games that feature on this list each provide a great gaming experience for gamers of all ages. Hopefully, over the course of time, the games I mentioned will still feature on future top 10s, perhaps going down in history as legends of gaming. So there you have it, my top 10 Nintendo games that don't feature Mario. Although what I would love to know are what are your top 10 games that don't feature Nintendo's favourite mascot. Hello! Anyway, come back next time where the cartoon guy looks towards the red planet, but why are there motorbike marks on the surface? Thank you so much for watching and see you next game.